until now. And what I'm about to show you is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And the credibility comes from the scientists, not at NASA this time, but at the Department of Defense in the United States military. So here's the question again. How can some light coming into us, through the pineal gland, convey any information? How could light enter within and speak to us in such a way as to change us? Electrically, it would seem feasible that the light could make circuit adjustments in the brain. But now there's a headline in the scientific world. It's not a headline that you see in the newspapers. And it's about experiments being carried out by the military. And now we have to think of all of this stuff in a whole different way. This is the scientific headline. Pentagon report investigates lasers that put voices in your head. What?
This was 9 years ago.
Report investigates lasers that put voices in your head. Now think of that for a minute.
Yeah, and we're just hearing about voice to skull.
How many times have you heard people either in court or on trial or people in hospitals saying, "Oh, I keep hearing these voices"? Of course, to us, they're either fooling or they're crazy. Well, let's look at this again. There are lasers, according to the Pentagon, the military, that put voices in your head. It doesn't say that they change and, change the circuit. You're hearing voices. And who is the object? I mean, when do light beings in another dimension decide to impact light to a particular person, and that person starts to hear voices, and we declare that person suffering from dementia or some other thing because they're hearing voices? Well, here's your military saying that light can put voices in your head. Could lasers coming from supernova 1987A or Eta Carina, the seventh angel, actually place instructing voices in your head? Could light coming from the electro minds of those departed be the voices that people claim to hear? Oh, my husband died, or my aunt died, or my mother died, and there was the funeral parlor, and I heard people say, I think I almost feel like I heard them talking to me, or I heard something. Well, they're light. They've gone into the realm of light. Is it possible then that that light could communicate directly into the brain? Could it be light that puts voices in your head? Do you see how this could change everything that we think of when we consider descending light? So let's look at the documentation, and then we can consider the implications. But I tell you, I'm going to go on a toot with this one. This is off and running because this is heavy-duty stuff. Let's take a look at what our Defense Department says. A recently unclassified report from the Pentagon has revealed an investigation into using laser beams for a new purpose. Some of the applications the report investigated, including putting voices in people's heads, using lasers to trigger uncontrolled neuron firing, and slowly heating the human body to a point of feverish confusion, all from hundreds of meters away. Now, they're looking at this, obviously, from the standpoint of war, but and wouldn't that be something if, you know, you can get the other army and they all hear inside themselves, this is your captain, throw down your... But I'm not interested in that. And I don't think any of us should be interested in that. We're not. All I am interested in is one fact. I have a credible scientific agency saying that it is possible, and I'll show you that they've already done it, to put voices in people's heads. And if we, as a kind of primitive race, are at that point of understanding this, what about advanced civilizations? I mean, it's a whole new ballgame, folks, about what people hear or even see inside of themselves. Remember what Jesus said, if your eye be single, your body will fill with light. And now the government is saying that light inside of a person's head can turn into actual voice instructions. That's all. The report explains several types of non-lethal laser applications, including microwave hearing, disrupted neural control, and microwave heating. For the first type, short pulses of RF energy can generate a pressure wave in solids and liquids. When exposed to pulsed RF energy, humans experience the immediate sensation of microwave hearing. Sounds that may include buzzing, ticking, hissing, or knocking that originate within the head for a new purpose. And I can tell you of a personal involvement with this because I have what is called tinnitus. And I thought about this some time ago. Maybe this is the contact that I have with beings of light who, you know, bring me this information. Maybe this is very important that I hear that buzz. Okay, let's see what else they say here. Some of the applications the report investigated, including putting voices in people's heads using lasers to trigger uncontrolled neuron firing and slowly heating the body to the feverish confusion. I think we looked at that a minute ago. But the point that I wanted to get to is not any kind of military thing. And the thing that I want to get to is not just the introduction of a buzzing or whatever they're talking about from a military standpoint, but what I'm talking about here is to introduce voices. Well, let's go to the next one. Exposure to the RF pulses doesn't cause any permanent effects, as all effects cease almost immediately after the exposure ceases. As the report explains, tuning microwave hearing could enable communicating with individuals from a distance of up to several hundred meters. Now, let's take this in the hands of an advanced race and say communicating with individuals from several hundred light years. I mean, why not? This is the best. Because the frequency of the sound heard is dependent on the pulse characteristics of the radio frequency energy, it seems possible that this technology could be developed to the point where words could be transmitted to be heard like the spoken word, except that it could only be heard within a person's head. All right? And so you could be sitting there saying, I don't know, I think I heard today. Is anybody here? Or you've all had that. In one experiment, so they've already done this, in one experiment, communication of the words from 1 to 10 using speech-modulated microwave energy was successfully demonstrated. Microphones next to the person experiencing the voice could not pick up these sounds.